Today we're going to go over these 4 drawings of the kettlebell grip. Okay, notice this is a competition kettlebell, so that's what we're going to talk about. Number 1, all these things are going to work well for people, but you want to start working towards getting to number 1 because kettlebells are meant for work capacity and endurance, okay? So number 1, the wrist is in a straight position, it's not bent back. It's not overly flexed or extended. There are multiple points of contacts. The fingers are just keeping the kettlebell nice and loose like you're holding an egg. The thumb isn't fully extended too much. It's creating a lock that pushes the opposite handle post to the ulna. Now let's move on to B. What I see here is very similar to the first one, but there's too much gripping in the ring and pinky finger, causing too much strain down into the medial epicondyle. Now we're moving on to C, and what I don't like about this is most of the handle weight is in the palm, which is causing a lot of pressure use here as well. It's a wobbly bell because a bell is a sphere on a tube, okay? So if this is getting pushed to the side, you're gonna see this mass of tissue pushed to the side in that picture. Now the same thing for number 4, the last one. Yes, it's a good alignment, but I just don't like that open hand because an open hand causes tension. You're gonna see that, no one talks about that. A lot of people show that open hand and it's good at a 45-degree angle, too much tension, a tight muscle in the back. All right, so here's number 1. The hand's going to go in at a 45-degree angle. This post is going to be connected to the ulna. The thumb locks this together. Notice the fingers are loose, almost like you're holding an egg. Now you can control this like however you want. Everybody's be a little different depending on finger length, hand meat, thickness, and all sorts of stuff. But notice how that's in there. The wrist is loose. There's a nice connection. This is a 45-degree angle over the wrist. The thumb isn't getting pressed back. The weight isn't all on the thumb. We're not trying to get it here. We're trying to displace all this weight in multiple points of the kettlebell. The wrist, the forearm, back, everything. So now let's go on to number 2, and it looks like this is happening. A lot of squeezing to control with the ring and pinky finger, okay? So as I have that down here, it looks like there's a lot of pressure here. That's not necessary because it's giving you a lot of tension into that medial epicondyle of your arm, okay, of the elbow. So here, when they go to squeeze down here, that's just not needed. It's not necessary, okay? Now, let's go into the third one, and it looks like this, okay? So now this kettlebell is kind of hard to show because it has a beveled edge that allows your hand to get it forces people to get their hands into the proper position. Now here, it looks like they're here in this number 3, and the fingers are doing a lot of work, okay? Fingers are doing a lot of work here. Thumb may be doing a lot of work. It's not bad, but there's kind of a space here because the kettlebell handle doesn't go down onto the across the wrist. It's mostly in the pad of the hand, okay, all that weight. Now there's some good nerve there. That's not going to feel good after a long time. Trust me, I've been there, done that. So here, that control, when that bell's in here, there's a lot of this going on, but I think their arm's more in the middle. Now you can see that this is pushing this kind of the tissue mass on the backside over a little bit. We don't want to be forcing tissue into different places because that's just going to be a lot of overuse, strain, and trauma. Now the last one, a lot of people do this one. So they have the kettlebell handle at a good 45-degree angle across the wrist and palm area, but the hand is wide open. Okay, when I see the wide open hand, that's great to cue people, but what it does is it makes the hand tight. It makes the back of the forearm right here taut, okay? Notice how that changes. You can see that here. So that tension is making this tight. Remember, a kettlebell is a round sphere. It's a sphere on a cylinder, okay? So that's super, super wobbly. If that's right in the middle and not locked with the post to the ulna and the thumb, right? So what you're gonna see is if the hand is here, the wrist, this kettlebell overhead is going to be kind of wobbly, right? We want to lock it as in number 1, we want to lock that in place. Now remember, this is for competition kettlebells, no matter how heavy they are, but people do these for 10 or more minutes with 32 kilograms. So yes, they can be very heavy. We're not working for maximum strength. If you have a big RKC bell or something like that, a cast iron bell, go ahead and grip that however you want, but still you can lock in position so the bell's not wobbling. I see people do stuff like this all the time, okay, with small bells. Once again, you're creating a lot of pressure going forward, overwhelming this tissue for no reason, and a lot of pressure of that bell pulling into here. So anyway, I hope these help you. For competition bells, we want to shoot for number 1. All right? KBOMG, have a good day.